Another ranked wrestler for the Fighting Illini, Danny Pucino. For Northwestern, Kolby McClain, true freshman.
Third true freshman in a row for Northwestern. The young guys getting a shot in the lineup today for sure.
Well, and it's unconfirmed, but should Sam Cartella wrestle next at 149? Be 4 in a row?
Really a reflection of the age of the Northwestern program, which is a big freshman class coming in, a lot of guys moving on after last year. So, I mean, I'm very impressed by these true freshmen coming in, Big Ten competition, showing that they're game and they're ready to compete. Some tough losses for Massi Odiotti and Diedrich Navarro to start it out, though.
Well, and this was a weight occupied by someone still at the program, Frankie Talshahar, just not competing this year.
Two older 141-pounders. Joel Vanderveer also starting the season at 141, unfortunately injured, not going to complete the rest of the season. So Kolby, the next guy up, and he's been fighting. He's a really scrappy guy, strong, and has shown that he's game for this competition, but still looking for that that real breakout against a tough ranked opponent in Pucino.
Trino controlling the middle, forcing Kolby McClain out to the outside. Danny Pucino, redshirt sophomore from Libertyville, Illinois.
Kolby hand fighting hard with hearing the smacks of those collar ties, but Pucino threatening more leg offense, although Kolby with a single leg attempt of his own. Pucino, good defense, almost gets around. Kolby sticking tough on that leg, though, not letting Pucino turn this into a takedown. Pucino, a pretty high-paced guy, if I remember correctly, someone who wrestles a full 7 minutes. So he'll look to just keep chipping away. So McClain getting to his offense there is a good sign for the true freshman in this match.
Danny Pucino beating Frankie Talshahar at the dual meet between these two teams last year. Now it's Pucino who's on the board first with a three-point takedown.
And he'll opt to cut McClain. Pucino scoring off of Kolby's single leg. McClain needs to circle here.
Seen bonus point victories from Pucino this season, 5 of his 12. A stall call there on McClain.
Pucino with a big snap.
Heavy hand fighting between these two guys at 141.
Kolby shooting with that lefty single leg again. Doesn't get that close this time. And Pucino just muscles him over with an underhook right to his back. Good timing by Pucino there, and he'll get the pin.
Well, Danny Pucino just flipped Kolby McClain over.
Disappointing result for true freshman McClain, who
all of us thoughts go out to Max Mayfield. Hope that he's okay after that one. And now it will be Edmond Ruth, highest ranked wrestler that we will see all day in either of our two meets. At number 8 for Illinois, for Northwestern. It'll be Joe Martin.
redshirt freshman.
Saw Joe Martin earlier at 174 against Indiana. Martin fell major decision to DJ Washington, 17-5.
So Martin going up against two ranked opponents today. Had some real flashes of brilliance against Washington in that loss, but not able to get to his offense so much on his feet. Starting out a little bit better in this one, though. Working, backing Ruth up, controlling the center of the mat. Martin really dangerous on top, though, as he showed us against Washington earlier this afternoon.
Edmond Ruth went 3-2 at national championships last year, lost to Iowa's Nelson Brands in the blood round. 7 minutes between him and that All-American recognition that every wrestler fighting for. It's just Nelson Brands just got in his way, but Edmond Ruth this season looks to be making his way right back to that same situation, 17-2.
Martin looking for a high C there. Ruth coming up with a body lock, though. Martin has to turn and concede the takedown to avoid Ruth's upper body effort.
Edmond Ruth bringing Joe Martin back to the mat. And Jamie, I want to go back to Max Mayfield for a second, because if he had defaulted, would have been 6 points for Illinois, so maybe that also factoring into the decision to want to continue the match?
Yeah, Max making a real team-first decision there, coming back and finishing that match. Definitely an opponent who he felt like he should have beaten, but unfortunate outcome, but he was able to avoid giving up 6 points to Illinois. And this is it's a pretty close dual meet so far. Trading matches at the beginning, but now Illinois ahead by 7 points.
Now Edmond Ruth
1 minute remaining in the period.
once again on his offense.
Fighting hard with that underhook, looking for something upper body. You can tell he feels like he has the upper hand there.
Well, the only 2 losses for Edmond Ruth this season to Patrick Kennedy, ranked number 9. And then he wrestled Keegan O'Toole of Iowa, who bumped up a weight class at that dual meet. Big double underhooks now from Edmond Ruth.
Ruth again threatening that body lock.
3 takedown Edmond Ruth.
Martin conceding the position a little bit there again. Aware that Ruth is looking to put him on his back. Gives up the takedown, but doesn't give up anything more. Be a big escape for Martin in the final seconds of this match, but Ruth doing a good job on top, just controlling his wrists and putting Martin's head on the mat.
6-1 in favor of Edmond Ruth through the first 3 minutes. And you see the Illinois coaching staff, one of the most decorated staffs in all of collegiate wrestling. 5 national championships between their 3 assistant coaches. Jeremy Hunter, 2000 NCAA champion. Isaiah Martinez, you see there, 2-time NCAA champion for Illinois, 2-time runner-up. And then Austin O'Connor as well, just graduated from North Carolina, 2-time champion for the Tar Heels, including at 157 last year. He went undefeated, 23-0.
Martin showing his stuff on top again, has Ruth completely extended on the mat, working with double boots and looking for a half here. Position that he put Washington in that match against Indiana earlier today.
And so effective, in fact, that DJ Washington elected not to start on bottom in that second period.
And then Martin chose top in the third, definitely confident on top. And this is a position where he's going to be looking to score some points. Ruth able to build his base, though, and he'll get a reversal with some explosive strength there.
Just shrugging off Joe Martin and then shooting almost from his butt.
1 minute remaining in the period.
Edmond Ruth looking for that right wrist of Martin. Two wrestlers just coming out of bounds here, right near our commentary table. It is Isaiah Martinez, who has been the most vocal coach in this match. Martinez holds program record winning percentage, went 116-3 in his career. 2 of those losses in national finals. Now Edmond Ruth has the talent to be the next national champion at Illinois. Just needs to put together the performances to do that. Now up to 45 seconds of ride time for the redshirt junior in orange.
Ruth working for a cradle here. Able to crunch Martin's head towards his knee. There's that cross-face cradle we discussed earlier this match. But Ruth not able to get it. Martin strong enough to prevent Ruth from crunching him into that cradle.
Choice now goes to Joe Martin, who elects to start on bottom. Point difference is 7. Edmond Ruth will opt the alternate start to give Joe Martin the escape point. Has faith in his ability to connect on another takedown to get that major decision.
This is an opportunity for Martin to show his stuff back in the lineup at 74, on his feet. Ruth in on a double leg, able to collect it off a second and third effort. Now again, looking for that crossface cradle. Martin with some tricky stuff there, rolling Ruth off.
It's still Edmond Ruth working on top.
Ruth looking to ride Martin out, but also get something else here. Definitely staying offensive, and his coach telling him, don't be satisfied here.
And with 3 matches left, the difference between a major and a tech fall here could be massive for Edmond Ruth. At the moment, has riding time now secured, so effectively a 10-point lead. Needs 2 takedowns and a ride out.
Martin staying tough in the hand fight. He's aware of the situation he's in on the team dimension, so opportunity to show his grit. Head coach Storniolo telling Joe that a takedown is big. Ruth will get a point. Joe Martin called for stalling there.
And still a takedown for Joe Martin would bring this back to a decision. But short time, just 15 seconds left. It's Edmond Ruth controlling the middle of the mat.
Martin working with an underhook there, threatening a throw by. Ruth getting a takedown on the edge there. Really just explosive, using his size advantage, using some strength there.
And now if Edmond Ruth can get a takedown in 6 seconds, it'll be a tech fall for Joe Martin, just needs to fend it off.
Good job by Martin, not giving up that potential takedown in the last couple seconds there, but dominating performance by Ruth. Although Martin showing some flashes of brilliance on
23rd dual meet victory of his career. And now for Northwestern, it becomes must-win territory. The next 3 matches, they need to win every single one of them. Any win for Illinois will clinch the duel. First up, pressure is now on Troy Fisher at 184 to get the job done against Dylan Connell.
And decision wins won't do it. If Northwestern wants to win this dual meet, they need to win every match and also find bonus points in at least one of them.
Even if Northwestern was to make up this 11 points, send it to criteria, Illinois would win, thanks to the victory by fall for Danny Pucino at 141. So some combination of majors and techs, maybe a pin if a Northwestern wrestler can find one. But as for right now, Illinois in the driver's seat. Their hopes now on Dylan Connell.
Connell going up against Troy Fisher, who's been on a bit of a tear last couple matches. Good upset win on Friday against a top 10 opponent. And then earlier today, the very solid performance against Indiana.
Between him and Chumley, 5-0 in their 5 matches this weekend. Tough to pick which wrestler has been more impressive equally. But Troy Fisher's win against Jacob Nolan, the one that you mentioned, just showing that things finally starting to click into gear for the Kansas native.
Troy looking for a little post shot there, but Connell just backing up.
Dylan Connell, 3-time Illinois State champion. He's wrestled 4 different Northwestern guys in his career. In 5 matches, has won all 5 of them against guys like Evan Bates, Jack Jessen, John Halverson, and then won against Jaden Martin as well back in 2022 when he was a freshman.
And a really important win against Evan Bates at Big Tens last year, which I believe qualified Connell for NCAAs, kept Bates from his own NCAA qualification.
.45 seconds left in the first period, no score here at 184.
Connell really snapping on that head a lot, staying heavy on Fisher's head, but Fisher is just backing him down. Hasn't really driven him out of bounds or anything, but Fisher definitely the one moving forward, threatening the offense. Another shot attempt by Fisher. Connell just circles away.
Troy Fisher working on the head of Dylan Connell. Connell the left wrist of Fisher. Really no offense there from either guy. One of the tightest periods we've seen in this meet. And again, any win for Dylan Connell or the 2 guys that will follow him will clinch this dual meet for Illinois.
Connell starting early there will get a caution. That's always a bit of a tactical situation. Guys want to time that whistle so that they're the first one to move, but if you jump the gun, you get a caution. So Connell up to his feet really quickly, though. Troy behind him needs to work to return him, or else we'll get a stall call against him. Troy effectively drags Connell down to the mat. Connell crawls out of bounds, and they'll go back to the center.
Troy Fisher, a 2-time NCAA qualifier, finishing 4th at the Big Ten tournament 2 years ago.
Troy coming in with that tight waist and an ankle. Connell with a switch, though. Does a really good job creating some space there. Fisher again pacing Connell down, but Connell not making it easy for Fisher to get to any of his offense. Fisher's such a consistent guy, though, really offensive, does the little things right. So he'll just work to keep chipping away at Connell's defense here. Troy opening up a little bit in that exchange, working on an underhook, and now back to a collar tie.
Halfway through the second period, the 1 escape point from Dylan Connell, the difference. Dylan Connell coming off a win against James Rowley on Friday.
Fisher really close to that sweep single there. Connell just evades it, but Fisher right back in on a high C. Connell, good hips though, extends Fisher. Connell in a position to score for a second there, but now just holding Fisher in a front headlock. Fisher with, I mean, every single shot attempt so far in this match though, between the first and second periods. You have to imagine that if Fisher keeps up this volume of offense, Connell might get dinged for stalling. I mean, Connell holding his position well, not getting driven out of bounds, but just not doing a whole lot in the center of the mat.
Troy Fisher now 8 matches in dual meets this season. Not a single one of those bonus points either way. Tends to keep it close, just a gritty wrestler. And once again, with that score, just 1-0, this is the difference. It is Dylan Connell's escape. Troy Fisher trying to maybe find some back points there.
Fisher going for a tight waist chop. Looked like he almost had Connell fully extended, but then Connell just hits a switch, uses Fisher's momentum against him to get that escape. So good bottom wrestling by Connell. Troy up to his feet immediately, though. Connell returns him. Troy back up again, returned again, and back on his feet, gets the one.
And an escape in the exact amount of time that it took Dylan Connell to escape. No riding time in favor of either wrestler. Score is at 1-1. Everything to wrestle for here in the last 90 seconds. For Illinois, a chance to clinch this dual meet. For Northwestern, Troy Fisher trying to keep it alive for the Wildcats.
And Connell will get hit for stalling, but now on his first shot of the match off of Fisher's offense again. But Fisher just with really great athleticism,
Big,
getting his
heavy
hips back. Oh, yeah. Has Connell extended here. Connell a little bit longer, able to keep his fingers locked. And they will stalemate, return to their feet. So Connell's first real flash of offense there, coming off Fisher's shot. Troy needs to be careful here in this really close match. He's got to set up his shot right. Make sure that Connell doesn't have a chance to reattack. A long double leg. Connell catches Troy in that front headlock. Now he comes for Fisher's ankle, but Fisher able to get back up to his feet. Oh, and now an ankle pick from that front headlock. Troy really extended here. Continuing to wrestle, though. No takedown awarded, and Troy doing just enough to prevent himself from getting taken down. Needs to find some height here, not let Connell get behind him. But Connell working really hard on those ankles of Fisher.
10 seconds left in the third period, no score. It's Dylan Connell controlling this for now, but Troy Fisher just holding on.
Nail biter there. Troy just so close to getting taken down from a Connell ankle pick, but just keeps wrestling. I mean, stays with it, doesn't let Connell take him down, and now we are going to overtime.
First overtime match of this afternoon. Both men in the mat have seen overtime once this season. For Troy Fisher, it was a loss to Matt Zuber of Northern Illinois, the first dual meet for the Wildcats. For Dylan Connell, a victory over Aiden Riggins of Iowa. Both of those entered at 1-1. It was an early takedown again. The first wrestler to score points in these next 2 minutes will win the match.
Connell in on the first shot. Fisher defending, though, coming over the top. Working to pass that ankle, but Connell with Fisher's foot bent at a strange angle. Troy continuing to wrestle, though, has elevation and gets the takedown. Great chain wrestling defensively by Troy Fisher there. That was some really good stuff. Keeping the dual meet within reach for the Wildcats.
Troy Fisher defending.